Alright, so here's the system this morning. It is October 23rd. Just putting this together for you so you can see what I got in actual daylight. There's a lot of worms, so you can see those boys in there. Might scurry away because of the light, but that's a huge element of aquaponic systems I think is missed, and I think it's a big part of the reason that I'm growing everything under the stairs. And there's literally no light that gets down here, but these plants look very, very healthy, and I really believe that the worms release a lot of minerals and make a lot of things bioavailable that most systems just don't get, and that's why I think a lot of systems crash over time, is because the plants just burn up some of the limiting factors in their system. But also that's why I add some seaweed probably every 4 or 5 weeks. So I got Swiss chard here. If you were to take these Swiss chards, it's a little late in the season, but compare them to what you pull out of the garden. I got a garden in the backyard. Just the coloration and stuff is so much darker, which tells me these guys are getting exactly what they need. Once these plants are in here though, and you take them and put them outside, they typically get their ass kicked. So they are pretty spoiled plants, and they don't really know how to survive in the real world. But from a food production standpoint, who gives a shit? Yeah, so kind of like your guys' system. I've got my fish down the bottom here, 100-gallon tank, pumps up. I'm using a high rate of flow. High rate of flow, in my opinion, is the best way to keep the system running efficiently on its own. I've got everything automated except for feeding the fish, but you could easily automate that. You can see that the water just is getting to the top here. Bell siphon just kicked in, if you can hear that, and now it's going to slowly drain down. So I like it to fill quickly, drain slowly, and I find that things just stay a ton cleaner. You can see some of the worms too poking their heads out into the water, but you can see there goes the water. It's draining out pretty quick. So I prefer to have more fills and drains per hour, I guess, than some systems. Some people like to do it a lot slower. I find things just stay so much cleaner in terms of water quality. This water has been here for basically 8 months. It's not crystal clear because you got fish, but like you can see, there's not much for solids in there. It stays relatively clean, and I don't have to clean this water out on a regular basis or anything like that. Literally all I do is add water for evaporation. So mint, the reason I've got mint in here, some guys don't really understand why I eat so much friggin' mint. I eat it, I make teas out of it, but the big thing I love about this stuff, especially for getting the system started, is it grows like a friggin' weed. This shit grows so fast that basically I know there's something constantly taking up the nitrogen, in the event that the Swiss chard and the peppers have to take off for a bit. So I just like having something that I know will be basically picking up the remnants on a regular basis. So these are some pepper plants. They're not that big yet. Something interesting here. I've got a pepper. That's a flower. So I shake these guys every day. Once the flower's on there, that guy's just basically been pollinated. So we expect to see that as a pepper here in the next few weeks. Yeah, so it was cool to hear from you. This is my system. You guys are welcome to come check it out, or if you want to sit down and talk about designs. I've got a few, learned a ton of lessons from building this. The positive thing, it's been running now for almost a year straight, and as a result, I think it's rather sustainable. And I haven't had any major die-outs or anything like that. And like I said, I think it's a big part of the flow system that I've got, the plants that I've selected, but also I think the worms in this is just river rock. I think that is a huge element that a lot of people miss. I know that there's vertical guys that just use water and float plants. I think the element of having the river rock for plants to grow with a little more stability and a little more like they're in soil does have some benefits. So, all right.